These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times.
Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their homes.
It's right here over Picatinny, there was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down dead.
These are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and, like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down.
Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it.
What the fuck is that, bro? Did it just get smaller? Bro, what?
Above the ocean, and it was low, very low, but so bright and so clear, and it was huge. Like when you...
I'm concerned. I issued a letter to ask for more information, and I think there should be a lot more transparency about that.
Can you make that make more sense? Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. My goodness, looking at this, and we're taking it seriously. And we
All right, that was a nice little intro I made. Partially that's probably going to be my upcoming documentary, but there's so much stuff going on. Figured had to go live again tonight to cover it. Let me know. I'm solo right now. Let me know if you can hear me good. I don't have any feedback there. But yeah, so much stuff is happening. We got to cover it all. I'm probably going to go nightly until this stuff slows down. I don't even know where to begin. I guess the news of the day. I have a presentation kind of prepared, but we're going to be doing this I'm going to be switching up from Twitter to my presentation, and got some shoot on Google hard drive and stuff like that. So yeah, everyone in the comments, how's it going? Let's see how everyone's feeling. The down drones. People are saying there's down drones. I haven't seen that. If somebody could shoot me that on Twitter or something, and we could cover that. I think one of the one of the big stories of the day was the White House press secretary hearing. So let's watch that first, and then that one reporter was super cool in my opinion, and she was pressing back on the White House press secretary. That was the first thing of the day. So let me get this set up here. Boom. Okay. And then here we go. I'm gonna put some background music on too. Oh, and don't forget we got our we still have all of our things from yesterday. Let's see.
Military drones.
Oops. All right, fun times. So this was today. Biden's press secretary, White House. This was his initial statement on the drones.
I just want to add a few comments on the reports of drone activity here on the East Coast, particularly in and around New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus. The Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are investigating these sightings, and they're working closely with state and local law enforcement to provide resources using numerous detection methods to better understand their origin, using very sophisticated electronic detection technologies provided by federal authorities, we have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully. The United States Coast Guard is providing support to the state of New Jersey and has confirmed that there is no evidence of any foreign-based involvement from coastal vessels. And importantly, there are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. Now, that said, we certainly take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports, even though they have uncovered no malicious activity or intent at this particular stage. While there is no known malicious activity occurring, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight a gap in authorities. And so we urge Congress to pass important legislation that will extend and expand existing counter-drone authorities so that we are better prepared to identify and mitigate any potential threats to airports or other critical infrastructure, and so that state and local authorities are provided all the tools that they need to respond to such threats as well. Now, tomorrow, there's a little thing called the Army-Navy game. We wish both sides a good game. We thank them.
Oh, the Army-Navy game's tomorrow. Yeah, that's kind of he's basically saying people are just having mass hysteria, misidentifying things. I think that's totally, downplaying the situation. But, you know, like people say, this is literally like a propaganda thing, what the White House press office is. They give it a nice fancy name, White House press office, but it's just like propaganda. They're probably shitting their pants right now, I'd imagine. I don't envy being them. What do you even do in this situation? Let's see. Here's the reporter that was super based. Let's see.
The drones. Does the U.S. John, on the drones, does the U.S. government have any of its own imagery or video of these systems?
I'm not aware that we have U.S. government produced imagery ourselves, but as I said in my opening statement, we have certainly done thorough analysis of the existing imagery.
Like from people's cell phones that we're seeing? Basically, with what you're looking at, how can you credibly tell people that there is no public safety threat, there's no national security threat, that there's no reason to believe that a foreign government is involved?
Because the analysis thus far in an investigation that is ongoing has not revealed any national security or malicious intent or criminal activity. But Jackie, I would remind you, we're at the beginning here, not the end. There's a lot more work to be done, and we're working closely with state and local authorities to gain more information. I would argue that we're moving pretty well here with a sense of energy to try to figure out what we can do to learn more about this. We're still in the middle of an ongoing investigation, and I'm up here explaining to you and let you know what we know so far, what we believe so far. If information comes to light that changes that characterization, then my goodness, we'll be the first ones to let you know. But right now, there's just no indication that this is some sort of foreign malign activity or in fact even criminal.
Well, what I don't understand is, this has been happening since late November. I don't know that the law enforcement officials or residents in New York and New Jersey, or even the Democratic senators who wrote to Director Ray Mayorkas and the FAA administrator today would think that this has been handled with a sense of urgency. But that being said, has the president or the Secretary of Defense issued any guidance to NORTHCOM or military installations to act on these systems if they're deemed to be a threat in any way? And what's the benchmark for that determination?
So two thoughts. First of all, you're right, late November. It is now, the 12th of December. So I think it shows that we're moving on with this, and we're going to stay on it. So I want to disabuse you of any notion that we're not taking this seriously, because we are. I can also tell you that if the president, as commander-in-chief, believed, based on the information that he'd been given, that there was a national security threat at play here, or even a public safety threat at play here, he would issue the appropriate directives to not only law enforcement, but perhaps even the military if that was needed. I want to go back to something I said at the top.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Of any of this activity in or near restricted spaces.
That's not what the senators said in the letter. They said, in fact, that they've been observed maneuvering their critical infrastructure, sensitive locations, including reservoirs and military installations, and cited concern from law enforcement about public safety threats because a medevac helicopter was prevented from transporting a seriously injured patient for care because of the presence of these drones.
I stand by my opening statement.
I love that face she made.
Can you make that make more sense?
Timestamp. Let's watch her. The face she made again is like my face too.
Evidence of any of this activity in or near restricted spaces.
That's not what the senators said in the letter. They said, in fact, that they've been observed maneuvering their critical infrastructure, sensitive locations, including reservoirs and military installations, and cited concern from law enforcement about public safety threats because a medevac helicopter was prevented from transporting a seriously injured patient for care because of the presence of these drones.
I stand by my opening statement.
Can you make that make more sense? Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
Certainly, I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. My goodness, looking at this, and we're taking it seriously. And we understand that people are concerned. We understand it. They got questions. We got questions too. And we're working hard to get the answers to that. What I can tell you as we sit here today, at 2:16 in the afternoon on the 12th, is we haven't seen any indication thus far that there's a public safety risk, and we haven't seen
know what they are.
We are still investigating this. I can't tell you definitively. I cannot characterize for you definitively what these sightings are. I can just go back to what I said at the opening. We've looked at the imagery. We can't corroborate some of the reported sightings through our own expert analysis using sophisticated detection techniques. But that doesn't mean that, we're putting our pen down here this afternoon and calling it a day. We're going to keep at this.
What are you doing now?
We are continuing to investigate it. As I said in my opening statement, 2 federal agencies, as well as the United States Coast Guard and state and local law enforcement.
So yeah, there we go. That reporter, everyone go find her and tell her she killed it there. I don't even know where to go next. Actually, you know what? There were some interesting responses to that. Let me see. To that, this whole thing this morning. A bunch of people were pissed about it, especially some of the New Jersey people. Let's see. Like I said, we're doing it live, guys. We're doing this live. Been clipping stuff all day. Been trying to monitor things all day. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right, so this is the state assemblyman who yesterday, if you remember, he walked out of that meeting and he was like, they don't know shit. So here's what he had to say in response to that whole briefing thing today.
But you've been around some of these briefings. Do you accept their findings?
Well, I don't believe anything that the spokesperson for the Pentagon said. I think he's an idiot, honestly, because down here on the ground, what we're seeing is like what your producer saw. I've seen these things with my own 2 eyes. And I was at a briefing with the colonel for the state police, where he was briefing 50 lawmakers. And he said one of their state police helicopters was hovering above a 6-foot large drone. And that he had that helicopter land because he feared the drone may do something erratic and hit the helicopter. So, I mean, if the colonel from the state police and a state assemblyman who was a former attack helicopter pilot for the Army are not good enough proof for this guy at the Pentagon, then he can do all the analysis he wants, but I think he's a fool.
Now, Bergen, you flew Apaches, right?
I did, yeah.
First of all, thank you for your service. But so you know what a helicopter looks like, right?
I do. I do. Yeah.
When you see the nav lights, you agree with my novice interpretation as just a regular boat captain that you see a green and a red light. Okay, now we're in the world of the recognizable. But with the videos that you've seen, even from my producer tonight, do those look like helicopters to you?
No, they don't look like helicopters. And the stuff that I've personally seen.
And News Nation is a little, they're a little on it with their copyrights. We're just going to pause for a second. But yeah, this guy's another pretty cool guy. I like it in the mix. All these random stars. I love, by the way, that it's in Jersey. So it's like, it's like this guy looks like a Sopranos guy, low key. Let's hit the Sopranos. That's a live view of him seeing the UFO that he saw. Oh, we do have a super chat. Nice. Thank you, Bold Gambit. DHS FBI stating their agents are prone to misidentify, misreport, and hysteria is going to put a lot of cases in jeopardy. Xmas gift for defense attorneys. Yeah, you know what's interesting too is there's a lot of parallels to the Colares UFO flap, and I'm going to highlight some of those in a bit here. But the Colares UFO flap was during this exact same time too, like end of the year of 1977. The Gabagool file says Barbarian Nature Preserve. Yeah, hilarious. That guy Def has an uncle that sells coke. LOL. Yeah, let's play a little more of this. And then there was another another New Jersey congressman was pretty pissed about that statement today.
Have not been helicopters. They've been in tight formations, multiple of them. It's obvious that they're not helicopters. Honestly, I mean, it's really ridiculous for people to believe there are. Now, does that mean that there's not a lot of sightings from people who are reporting helicopters or aircraft? Of course there are. Of course there are. But when you have a colonel from the state police telling you one of his aircraft is hovering above it, and you got this guy from the Pentagon saying there's no proof. I mean, something doesn't add up here.
All right, so I'm going to bring in Mike Fraietta. Listen to him, Rep, and if there's anything you want to say, you just chime right in. First of all, it's good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
So you're smiling through some of this as I'm saying it. What do you think is going on here? Do you think that they're testing things?
They try to bring a debunker to this guy.
Agencies who just always deny what they're doing?
It's always important to know if it's a friend or foe, no matter.
Yeah, don't try and debunk a wise guy. This is what happens when you try and debunk a wise guy.
No matter what kind of drone you're talking about, you want to be able to detect and know that. In this case, is it friend or foe? Now you think about, I grew up in New Jersey. I'm getting 1,000 texts from everybody that lives in the area. McGuire Air Force Base is right there. If you're following closely what's happening coming out of Syria, going into Gaza and in Ukraine, it's a lot of warfare, drone warfare. Last night we saw a Ukraine drone take out a Russian drone.
Yo, can we just talk about real quick too the state of cope amongst debunkers? Now, you know, I'm kind of leaning NHI. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm leaning NHI. I'm not going all in, just in case it's not NHI. Don't be like you said, but I low-key am. But some of the debunking out there has just gotten so like, okay, for it to be nothing would be like so insane. You guys watched that clip we had at the beginning, all the different statements from all the different departments, FBI saying we don't know, Pentagon saying we don't know, it's not us, it's not foreign. You know, and the debunkers are just here like, oh yeah, nothing to see, just another day, another casual day. All right, let's see what happens when you try and debunk a wise guy.
This is very imminent on American government mind in terms of their defense. And so there could be a lot of testing going on there, and they don't want to tip their hat and put American lives at risk overseas by telling them what we're building over here for there.
So how do you explain the explanation of their manned aircraft or nothing, and nothing over any restricted airspace?
I'm not saying that at all. I think a lot of personal drones are out there. A lot of people are saying, hey, this is the time to go up and see what's happening out there. I know I wanted to have my drone and go out there. So I think there's a lot of those drones that are out there. Probably what your producer saw are personal people with their drones flying about.
But some of them.
Yeah, but can I say something?
Yeah, go
about
ahead.
that?
Go ahead, Rep.
Would you mind, Chris?
Please.
So an individual is not going to be able to put a 6-foot large drone up into the sky. I mean, I went to buy one to help me cast bait out further at the shore, and it cost $2,000.
Sure.
I mean, how are you going to get something that's 6 foot wide? Yeah,
you're one of those, Bergen. I got to tell you, I'm not a fan of you guys. All right, I don't like you flying your baits and dropping them next to my boat. You're on the shore.
Gabagool.
You think you don't need a boat. You're one of those guys. I don't want to hear it, Rep.
Well,
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Those are class 3. Yeah, class 1 and 2 are the ones that you can buy in the store. And these are clearly the 6-foot ones are obviously bigger. They're commercial, military grade that you cannot get in the store. So those are not.
So the shorthand term for these is some big ass drones that you cannot buy commercially.
Sure.
So what is that thing that we're looking at right now? That's not a helicopter, and that's not a Radio Shack drone. I don't even know if there is Radio Shack anymore.
Yep.
But so what is that thing?
It's a drone, right? And this is what the American people need to consider. Even if this is a friend or a foe, if we don't know, we're seeing houses getting robbed in Los Angeles, in Miami, in Maryland. They're using drones to case out the houses. And then during the robbery, they're using it as a lookout. Are the police coming? Are the people coming back home? So people need to be diligent on our drones above us, and are they friends or foes? And I think this is a wake-up call to America. Our water supply, our electric stations, municipalities need to treat this as a serious threat. Clean water, affordable housing, drone detection is imminent for us to protect against these. Whether these ones or not we need to really think about this long term, because it's not an if but when the next terrorist attack is going to be by a drone.
Now, hey, thanks for watching.
All right, we got another New Jersey. I think, pretty sure this is the congressman. He relays some more stories about This is the congressman from New Jersey, and I think he talks about that early White House reporter thing today too.
Many law enforcement people have told me, including one chief of police, that he was skeptical. Then he saw a dozen of them, and they're in formation. And the what do you call it? The Coast Guard. I talked to one of their commanders, and one of his 47-foot rescue boats on the stern of that ship, that boat, that vessel, were a whole slew of these drones. And I even asked him, what are the rules of engagement? What do you do? I mean, that sounds to me like a threat and certainly a provocation. And he goes, let me find out. Well, I still haven't heard back. So I think we're dismissing this very prematurely. And remember the weather balloon? I mean, this is like, as Yogi Berra would say, deja vu all over again. We sit there and said, oh, look at that. Hello, that was the Chinese Communist Party surveilling our military bases, and it could have been worse than that.
You have asked if they would shoot these things down. Is that wise to do, given that we don't know exactly what they are?
What do you guys think, chat? Should people shoot at the UFOs? Well, we got some more footage. Some people are saying it's debunked, but, there's some footage out there that looks like these things that everyone's filming are shooting lasers down to the ground. I'm just going to say it. I hope it gets debunked. I hope it was just some weapons test. We'll watch that footage maybe after, but yeah.
Oh, the capability to shoot them down, but to do it in a place where there would not be any threat to anybody on the ground.
It's a pretty densely populated area we're talking about here.
Just do it. But not over the ocean. They're over the ocean too. And they're over water bodies. There are ways of doing this in a sophisticated approach that's aggressive and put to rest. If this is a nothing burger, tell us. But don't sit there and say, well, we can't corroborate. Our Governor Murphy is very upset, increasingly it seems. We're not getting answers. And I did ask, like I said, our head of Homeland Security about this in that briefing. And I said, we need answers. And that was days ago. We still don't have any answers.
So, I mean, the fact that so many people across the Northeast have not only seen these objects, but they've actually gotten their phones out and we're looking at videos as you and I are speaking of these things flying around in the sky. It's astonishing that we can't get anybody to tell us, aside from they're not drones, don't worry, and they appear to be lawful aircraft. That's it. We don't even have any information on how they reached that conclusion.
There's no information in it. I'm asking, along with some of my colleagues, including the man that ran the hearing that I was at that you just talked about. Next week, we've asked for a briefing by DOD. Tell us. Give us the information. Stop the crickets. No information leads to speculation that might be ill-founded, but people, are seeing and they know what they're seeing. Sometimes they are jet aircraft or Cessnas or Piper Cubs. Other times, close up, it is a drone, and they fly in formation in some cases, and there's just too many of them. Where are they coming from? And again, warfare has been radically altered in recent years.
All right, we'll stop that one there. Let me get this next thing ready to go. But yeah, so let's see what people were saying though about. I said, should they shoot at the drones? Hello 98.7 says, do not shoot up. Wolf says yes. Alan says yes. Master says yes. Bill Gammon says yes. Trevor says no. Umberto says yes. Godsauce says no. Godsauce says don't shoot. B Baker, all caps, do not shoot at the drones. Actually, that's a great interlude to this real quick from Stephen Greenstreet, friend of the show. He says that, let's see. Share my screen. Somebody got arrested actually for shooting at the drones. So yeah, don't shoot at the drones, y'all. Do not shoot at the drones. Let's see. So this is from Stephen Greenstreet. Police in Long Branch, New Jersey, arrested a person for firing a weapon into the air towards the sky. This comes 4 days after Congressman Tim Burchett joked on Fox News that citizens should shoot at the drones in New Jersey. Oh, sorry, burping. The message from the Long Branch Police Department reads, message from Director of Public Safety William Broughton. I would like to advise members of our community that there was an incident on December 11th, 2024 at approximately 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., LOL, probably drunk, involving an individual firing a weapon into the air towards the sky in the area of Cedar Avenue. The shots were not directed at an individual or residence. Officers responded immediately and an arrest was made. And a weapon recovered. There were no injuries, no property damage, and there is no danger or threat to the community. But yeah, what goes up must come down. I think I'm going to have to side with people saying don't shoot. Oh, and actually, we have the perfect thing for this too. Look at this. Boom. Look at the coverage we're bringing you guys.
LAPD is asking Los Angelinos not to fire their guns at the visitor spacecraft. You may inadvertently trigger an interstellar war.
Please. I think I need to re-upload that clip and turn it up louder. I know my audio mixing is horrible. I apologize, but you know, what are we gonna do? I'll try and I'm trying to get it better though, but we'll see. So let me go to those clips real quick of the drone shooting. You know, I don't know, guys. This there's a lot of parallels to Colares, and in Colares there was like motherfuckers shooting lasers at people. So you know, we're gonna play the footage. But if it turns out that this was a test or something, don't crucify me. I'm here on the front lines of misinformation, trying to weed through all this bullshit. All right, here we go. So yeah, sorry guys, it doesn't let me zoom in to show a little better. We'll play it one more time, and then we'll kind of zoom. Well, sorry, yeah, so many things are going on right now. So much happening. Let's do it one more time so look at that. What is that? That could be a round, right? Those could be live rounds. Like that could be a weapons test, but okay. People are like, it's a weapons test. When was the last time we saw weapons tests like this? A video of a US military weapons test like this come out of America, let alone that this is coming from a hot spot where the UFOs are. If somebody wants to go on Twitter and just give me a thread of like a bunch of these from like other cities at other times where there weren't UFO flaps, I'd love to see it. Now let's watch this one too. And that's the other thing. There's like multiple videos from multiple different people showing this kind of phenomenon of the UFO shooting lasers. Okay, share this tab instead. Boom. Okay.
Holy cow. That thing is completely stationary shooting.
All right, so yeah, some people are saying it's it. Look at the apparently that's from a Facebook group where some guy was like posted it tonight. Let's see if we could pause it on that thing and read the thing. Shoot. Pause it when he switches around.
That thing is completely stationary shooting.
From the end of my driveway looking south, Q Egypt's happening. That was posted tonight in New Egypt, Jersey. So I think people were saying there's a weapons testing range out in New Jersey and maybe that part of the thing. So maybe it is, but also that would be a very convenient excuse for if there were UFO shooting lasers. Let's watch the other video. Okay, we're gonna do some more. We're gonna do some more videos. Let's see. I've never shared this like Google Drive view. Okay, is it gonna do that? Let's see. Let me do that. Okay.
What the heck are we? Sounds like it's an actual. What? It's like landing. Honey. What is that? You get that? I am. It's like landing. Nobody else sees this. Are we crazy? I have it on video. Are we crazy? It's like down in the trees now. What the hell? We should have sat over there. Wait, we're gonna go down here. I'm so. God, this is terrifying. That's a UFO. No, is that It's really moving. It's moving. What is that? What is that? What is that? It's a UFO. So, are you videoing? Yeah. What? That's like a UFO. I'm so freaked out right now.
These are some interesting videos. Let's watch it one more time.
God.
And these are from, I think, tonight, or these were late last night, by the way. I forget which city in New Jersey, but yeah, someone sent these on Twitter. Everyone's working together really well on Twitter, kind of get this info out. But also, we got to be careful, right? We don't want to be part of some freaking new weapons of mass destruction stop to get us pointed at Iran or some shit, like the other congressman said. Which, by the way, Congressman Ana Paulina Luna is like still tweeting out support for. We'll play that after.
That's a UFO. No, is that it's moving. It's moving. What is that? What is that? What is that? It's a UFO. So, are you videoing? Yeah. What? That's like a UFO. I'm so freaked out right now.
Let's see what else we got in this little drive here. So it looks like these are pictures of it up close, maybe a little better. Yeah. Let's see, is this another video? I think this one has no sound. So yeah, that's really interesting. There's so much stuff to cover, guys. So much stuff to cover. Let's see. Let's go through a little bit of the presentation I was trying to make before. I was like, let's just go all off Twitter. We've got some statements from other congressmen, some more wise guy stuff. One of these mayors also looks like a wise guy out there. Okay, we're doing it live. We're doing it solo. Oh, also, by the way, trying to fundraise to go out to Jersey. I think maybe trying to stay with Esther the situation for a day. Maybe stay with Kevin for a day. I haven't told either of them this yet, by the way. But if you want to hit that super chat, by all means, do it while I set this up. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Sorry, guys. All right. Here we go. So these are some of the clips I had prepped for this little show of today, from today.
An interview, New Jersey.
So there's our guy, the guy we like, the wise guy, who he said he saw one of these things, dude. And we have footage of when he saw it. Ooh, live security cam footage. We actually were able to see him seeing his UFO. Okay.
Assemblyman Brian Bergen says Governor Murphy should consider using the National Guard to track or interfere with the drones.
Let's get some Army pilots up there who know what they're doing and track these things to where that they land.
So yeah, calling on the military. Like, guys, this is getting pretty serious. I think the Biden administration is really trying to wait until like the weekend to you guys want to hear something else funny? And if you guys know, Todd McMurtry, Lue Elizondo's lawyer, who word on the street was working with some people to sue me, followed me during this whole thing. And he was like, he made a great point. He's like, the Biden administration is just praying this goes away. But it's funny. He liked one of my memes, Lue's lawyer, that potentially, maybe because he followed me and he liked my meme, maybe I'm not getting sued anymore. Maybe that's what that means. And also, by the way, Lue Elizondo came out and talked about these things tonight too, which we have here in this presentation. And I did put out on Twitter this little clip of it.
New Jersey.
All right, here's a mayor. This is a New Jersey mayor. Does this guy not also look like a wise guy? Like he could be in the cast of Sopranos. I mean that in the best way possible. Not trying to talk shit. Shouts out to our Italian Americans. Shouts out to New Jersey. But this guy is straight up a wise guy. We've got to play it again. They're wearing the same outfit. They're literally wearing the same outfit, guys. Not sure that's a common outfit, probably, but here's what he had to say. He got a briefing. I think he's talking about the briefing that he got where the guy we just watched, I should learn all their names, where Paulie, we're going to call Paulie, and this guy, I don't know, Tony. They were at the same briefing where Paulie walked out. So let's hear what Mayor Tony had to say.
Some of the best detection equipment in the nation, I am told. We have by far the most robust equipment, is what the state police told us. The detection equipment is up, but not detecting. These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are.
All right, y'all caught that, right? The detection is like they're not able to detect these 6-foot drones, dude. Like, at what point, dude? Is this the? Are we on the fast track to disclosure? Are we on the fast track to disclosure, or like literally World War III, and this is a psyop to get us to go to war with Iran? I have no idea, but like, I don't know how they unbuckle this because it's still happening tonight, guys. Every night, it's been happening from November, and honestly, it kind of seems like it's been happening more the more they've talked about it, right? Like in the late November, video here, video there. Now it's like, I think it's because everyone's looking up now. Maybe everyone's kind of on edge. But yeah, let's see.
Are not being detected. Here's some unknowns. And again, they were very transparent today. So some of the unknowns, the state police says unknowns. We have no idea where they're taking off from. No idea. We have no idea where they're landing.
As he's reading this, I want you guys to remember this has been going on for nearly a month that they've been investigating this. And these are the answers that they have, right? This is crazy.
No idea at all. We have no idea who is behind them because, as I mentioned, they are not state and we are told it is not federal. We have no idea the drone types, as I mentioned before, that they stay up about 6 to 7 hours. And if you're a drone operator, you probably know that that's a very, very long time. We know that we've gotten close, but when we do get close, the lights have gone dark and they have left the area. And we do know that they are flying, as I've repeatedly said, they are flying over critical infrastructure like reservoirs, Picatinny Arsenal, Trump Bedminster, and our nuclear power plants.
So totally normal, right, guys? Flying over Trump's properties, our nuclear power plants, sensitive military installations for nearly a month, and we have no idea where they're coming from, what they are, whose they are. I'm going to play just a little bit of that thing I played in the beginning, too, my little montage I made. Because I do think it's a good culmination of like all the craziest stuff that's been said. Let's get that going.
Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their light.
Powerful. All right, let's go back to this. And that what we just heard, that next clip is the interview we're going to watch here. Here's another
mystery in the
state assemblyman out there.
I'd like to welcome in Republican New Jersey State Senator Doug Steinhardt. Senator, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. So we heard right there, John Kirby say that there is right now no evidence of foreign-based involvement. Before we get into what they may be, first just talk to me about what people in your home state are telling you they are seeing in the skies.
Sure, and the reports vary from specific pattern flights to the multicolored lights in the sky to hovering in particular places to being patterned in the vicinity of critical military or energy infrastructure over residential neighborhoods. So the reports vary. I mean, I myself stood on my front porch. I overlook a kind of a big mountain valley on Sunday night and saw at least a dozen of these myself. I mean, I've seen aircraft flying.
Dude, come on, dude. Sorry, but like he's seeing them too. They're all seeing them. Like guys. Okay, I want everyone in the chat to. How do you guys predict? Where does this go from here, guys? Where does this go from here? We have. I'm telling you guys, go watch my Colares video flap. It's kind of a bummer though, because it's kind of a doomery thing. But we do have those drone treatment. Where do we go from here? Where does the Biden administration go from here? All these politicians seeing it, all these law enforcement officers seeing it, all these normal people seeing it, all these videos. Like, where do we go from here, guys? Let's see. Oh, this would be great. Red, just offer to have a casual chat interview with Lue. You're both gifted communicators that have helped community resolve any concerns. Are me and Lue gonna? Are me and Lue Elizondo gonna have to buddy cop for this bullshit? Because again, I am trying to go out. Thank you, Telekinetic. Anything that goes, any super chats I get here is gonna definitely go to me trying to go out there. Because like, how could we not? Like, Estimate said on the stream last night, like, this is like a fucking. This is the most flappy of a flap the US has had since like the Project Blue Book days, right? Because even like Phoenix Lights was like one night, right? This is like a straight up flap, bro. And even if I go a little late, could still interview people, still you know, take pictures and shit. But I don't even know where the hell we're gonna be in like a week or 2 weeks. What the hell is going on here? Let's play a little more of this. Actually, yeah, here we go.
Mystery in the skies over New Jersey. I'd like to welcome in Republican New Jersey State Senator Doug Steinhardt. Senator, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. So we heard right there, John Kirby say that there is right now no evidence of foreign-based involvement.
Sorry, I have to.
Before we get into what they may be, first just talk to me about what people in your home state are telling you they are seeing in the skies.
There you go.
As the activities up till today did, and we still don't have a lot of answers.
So let's talk about, there are assertions that Iran may be behind these drones. The Pentagon denies that. We just heard from John Kirby there saying there's no evidence of foreign-based involvement. Who do you think is responsible? What do you think is behind these drones?
Unfortunately, you know, I'm only as good as the information that I read, the briefings that I've attended. We did have a long briefing yesterday at the request of myself and a handful of other legislators that the governor organized with both state and federal authorities that included the colonel of the New Jersey State Police, representatives from the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness, and the United States Department of Homeland Security. And what came out of that meeting is the same thing. They doubled down on their narrative that there's no threat, but then they can't explain why. To the contrary, what they go through is a litany of things that they claim that they don't know. They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They know that they vary in size from a foot or so in circumference to as much as 10 feet. The colonel indicated that they had sent New Jersey State Police helicopters to try to intercept them on a couple of occasions, and when they approach them, they simply go dark and disappear. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from, they don't know where they go to. You know, all of those seem like interesting or odd sort of responses to, you know, as Admiral Kirby said, if they're not drones, and they seem to be consistent with manned aircraft, then, you know, whose manned aircraft are they? I said from the beginning that I think it's a balancing of answers versus action. If these are American.
So did you hear that? The state police that he went to go get this briefing from, right? Investigating for a month. They don't know where they're coming from. They don't know whose they are. How do they not know after a month, guys? Crazy, man. Crazy world. What do we got next?
And there is another.
Oh, here's another. This is an interesting video. You know, the videos are so hard, but like some of them are just like, guys, this is fucking happening. But, you know, this one's interesting. There's a lot of videos out there that aren't, you know, I thought it was like, you know, this might get debunked. If it gets debunked, don't crucify me. We're in the middle of it. Use it as an example of how information flows bad, which, by the way, I got linked in a tweet thread about that today. But let's see.
Another orb up there. You see it? Right there. So there's usually another drone or spacecraft or whatever the heck that is that's next to it. I don't know. It's like they're feeding off of each other. Okay, I got the sprinklers. Here we are. Sprinklers are here. Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it, UAP. It transforms into a craft. Right in front of my eyes. Can't make this up. And there it goes. It's off. It's off. I just got drenched for being a little drone hunter, and the sprinklers are on here at the golf course. Okay, I just want to document this because I've contacted the police, I've contacted the news. They're not.
Yo,
really
shout out
taking this
homegirl. Getting drenched, go for the shot. That's what's up. That's true ufology right there. Yeah, dude. It's crazy. And yeah, a lot of the there's this weird like cope in our community where like people are like trying to act like this wasn't happening. Like, if you care about the drones, it's dumb. I think that's all pretty much died now. I think it's only like the true debunkers that are like, yeah, this isn't happening. Let's see. Oh, Marjorie Taylor Green getting in the mix. Let's see what she had to say today.
Number one, I'm going to call it total bullshit that no one knows what these are. And I think it's a slap in the face to the American people to say they don't know what this is. They can track down a guy that just killed a CEO, but they can't identify what nightly drones are and where they're coming from. I think that is absolutely disgusting to lie to the American people like this, and the truth needs to be told about it. Secondly, if they're telling the truth, then this country is in horrible shape. We're all in danger. I mean, seriously, if our great government can't identify what these drones are, they're flying every single night, that people are sitting out there videoing with their cell phones, then no American is safe. And I mean, I have no respect if our government cannot say what these are.
So if we don't know who they are, right? So it's got to be somebody else, or they're just not telling us, and they know who it is. And some people have said maybe it's from an adversary. What do you think?
I personally, I seriously don't know, but I think they know. I think our Pentagon knows. Our Pentagon should know, right? The Department of Defense absolutely should know. And I'm not privy to that information. We're not in control yet. But I'll call them a bunch of liars, and I think they're full of shit.
Because they're saying they don't know. So it's like, if you don't know, then...
If they don't know, they need to resign in shame. That's what I think. And we need people in charge that can know what this is. But
What do you guys think? So I think that they definitely know. They definitely know. I think this is either NHI or something else. But I think whatever it is, I think the government definitely knows. And again, the fact that they're not saying it, I think someone here might have said it too. Like the fact that I think they know and they're not saying it is extremely sus. Extremely. And someone else said here, where is Mick? Yeah, where is Mick? Pray for Mick West. Pray for Stephen Greenstreet. Pray for fucking Lue reviews. That's what we really need to be praying for right now. Yeah.
I want folks out there to know we're not.
Here's the New Jersey governor. I have to freaking. That's the one thing about Canva is like it. If I want to do that, it doesn't do it. Let's see. Yeah, no. Okay. We just have to replay.
And you're frustrated, so are we. But based on everything, and we're going to stay at it, I promise you this is our top priority. But based on everything we know, we don't see any evidence of a risk to public safety.
How does he know? So this is a new clip today. It says from Wednesday, but I think he doubled down today on the no risk to public safety thing, which pissed a lot of people off. That's the New Jersey governor.
I spent my entire.
Here's my
entire.
Here's another congressman from Texas, kind of talking about this stuff. I think yesterday.
Professional career as an F-22 pilot, doing the business of air-to-air combat, protecting the sovereignty of the United States airspace. And that's why we held this hearing yesterday. And the main question is, why haven't they done anything about it? We've had multiple incidents over the past couple of years. You've already mentioned the Chinese spy balloon flying over the United States, and nothing was done. You know what? U.S. Northern Command's only job is to protect the sovereignty of American airspace. What President Biden should do tonight, what Secretary Austin should do tonight, is issue guidance to every commander of every military installation, every sensitive government facility, that if they have unknown drone activity flying over them, that not only are they expected to shoot them down, but that is their only job, is to protect that airspace, to protect those facilities.
All right. So yeah. Pretty interesting clip there. What do you got next here? Boom.
This is over my.
Oh, this is interesting. This is I pulled this one up because this includes clips from Senator Tim Kaine, which I think he's like Virginia or some shit like that. Virginia senator, and then also what's her name? Why am I blanking? Kristen Gillibrand. You know, who's big on air and whatnot. So
house right now.
Tonight, as mysterious drones continue to pop up in the skies over the East Coast.
Now it's hovering over my other neighbor's house.
Lawmakers in Washington are growing frustrated that the Biden administration isn't explaining what they are.
You see the internet's running wild with conspiracy theories, and that do you feel like the administration needs to fill that void?
Well, I think they should get out something as quickly as they can.
Theories are running wild about what the flying objects may be. One New Jersey congressman said they were being launched by an Iranian mothership off the Atlantic coast. The White House today saying an investigation is underway, but there is no cause for alarm.
Right now, there's just no indication that this is some sort of foreign malign activity or, in fact, even criminal.
adding the objects being seen in the sky aren't even necessarily drones.
It appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
And while the Pentagon has said they aren't military drones and they do not come from a foreign threat, senators like New York's Kirsten Gillibrand are demanding more information.
We cannot simply say, well, they're not causing any harm. Well, do we know that? What are they doing? And who's sending them?
The FBI is leading this investigation, getting support from both the FAA and DHS, but none of these agencies are revealing any information as to what their probes have discovered, meaning the mystery of what's up in the sky continues. Lester.
Okay, right. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about.
We can't do a stream without showing Lue. You know what I mean? And actually, let's do this too. We're about to show Lue. Why not? I think we got this one in here. Do we still have it in here? Yeah, we do.
Drone sightings have been reported above critical infrastructure. He added that their presence appears nefarious in nature.
I don't know who could have possibly done this.
And it gets even worse. Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their home.
It's kind of unsettling. They're not up for 15 minutes, they're up for hours. Some are very big, probably size of a car.
Mike Walsh says he's seen hundreds of them over the past 2 weeks from his Randolph backyard.
One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed time.
I'm gonna play that during this Jersey stuff every time we cut to Lue Elizondo. So let's see what he had to say.
There's other possibilities as well. And so let's talk about those possibilities, for example. It's possible that you could have, for example, a UAP being seen over a sensitive U.S. facility or installation. And so what do? We launch our drones, because typically in the past we used to fly helicopters, but helicopters are expensive. And let's face it, you may have one or two if you're lucky, if it's available to you. And there's time it takes to get a pilot, wake them out of bed, have them go to the helicopter, start it up and fly it. By then, whatever it is you're chasing is long gone. So it makes sense that you have these quick response, quick reaction drones on or near military installations, that if there was an event, you could launch these immediately. In fact, almost autonomously, and they would all go to a pre-arranged location and start surveying the area to see if they can find what's in and around the area. So it is possible that some people are seeing UAP initially, and then the government's response is to launch these drones to try and find these things in a relatively quick and efficient manner. And so what people are seeing in some cases, some are seeing the initial UAP, whereas others are now seeing the follow-on response, the U.S. response, and trying to identify these things. Is that a possibility? I think so. That certainly could be a possibility. You know, drones now and drone technology is becoming far more pervasive.
All right. Yeah, people are roasting on Twitter that those things are trees. I don't know, man. I mean, again, show me footage of those are all from this weekend. I mean, that one was clearly in Jersey. Why are they doing that right now? Why are they doing a tracer around like that in the heat of all this stuff? Maybe it is. But yeah, Papa Lue. Lue Crew. Just kidding. He has a channel now. He started streaming. He said, by the way, he said like a bunch of different options. That was just one where he did put it on the table that this could be UAP. And actually, you know what? Let's go watch these clips next. Because last night after we ended our stream, Chris Mellon and Anna Paulina Luna and Ryan Graves all went on and gave some thoughts on things. Let's see. Here's Chris Mellon, who we were just in a space with the other day, his son. Let's see what he had to say.
With you, Mr. Mellon, do you believe that there are more and that it's understood and explainable?
I believe there are more. I think it's important for people to understand that this has been going on since at least 2017, which is to say these smaller, brightly lit drone-like vehicles violating restricted U.S. military airspace in sensitive areas around nuclear power facilities, nuclear weapons storage facilities. A year ago today, roughly, Langley Air Force Base was taken offline by drones. And that continued that was exactly a year ago this month. And that was about a year after there was a similar sort of pattern in the Western United States for several months near some of our ICBM fields. So it's troubling that after all this time, we still haven't captured any of these things. We still haven't brought them down.
So why is he saying 2017 on there? That was some of the questions we were asking there. He's Ryan Graves was the first, but he clearly is making a connection that what we're seeing here is NHI. I think.
Do we know that? Where they're coming from. We are really in a position of ignorance here, and hopefully this will maybe at long last, after all these prior events and the Chinese balloon, get some people to take a hard look at what do we need to do to get our hands on one of these things so we can get to the bottom of this.
Right. I mean, look, Chris, you know better than I do, but I don't know that they haven't gotten any of them. I would read it another way, just as somebody who's been in the business of deception detection for 25 years, that, you know, that calmness of them being not concerned about it is usually a function of having information. And Ryan, you and I have talked many times.
All right, let's go see what Ryan Graves said. Like I said, we're just doing this. We're doing this live, bro. Oh, actually, let's see what Anna Paulina Luna said. Bay.
Former deputy.
Oh, actually, yeah, Bay. This is her one.
She is on the House Oversight Committee, which held hearings on UFOs and UAPs. And to be honest, one of the few who took this seriously early. We have Christopher Mellon, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense, who specializes in unidentified flying objects, and Ryan Graves, former Navy pilot turned UFO whistleblower. Thank you to each and all. And just quickly, does anybody believe that I have it wrong and that this is some great mystery that nobody knows any of the answers to? All right, good. I'll start with you, Representative. How do you explain how you keep hearing that there are divisions of government that are involved in different types of undertakings, but they can't come clean, even with members of Congress, even with a special subcommittee, about what is in the air over New Jersey and elsewhere?
Look, it's unacceptable, and for them to undermine Representative Andrews' credibility and saying that he's talking to people that he does believe that these are.
Okay, hold on. So Representative Andrews, and I'm going to put, she did a tweet out too, is the guy who said that there's a Chinese mothership, by the way. Which, do I have a meme for that, or it might have been too long? I don't have that meme ready, but I'm going to play that next before we get to Ryan Graves. But just when she says Representative Andrews, remember, that's who she's talking about.
And elsewhere.
Look, it's unacceptable, and for them to undermine Representative Andrews' credibility and saying that he's talking to people that he does believe that these are drones from other nefarious foreign actors. I mean, it just goes to show, obviously they're checked out before the holidays and they know that they're leaving office. And so I believe that they're not really interested in finding out what's happening. And it's the unfortunate truth of what happens in Washington, especially when there's a new incoming administration. But to be clear, you know, what we're seeing right now happening, not just in the drone sphere, but I think on the topic of UAPs, is you're right, there has been a change in technology. And also with the fact that people can now record, you have devices, they can't really hide it anymore. So I think the Pentagon and the government as a whole is looking at how to address this to the American people. But there's no doubt in my mind that Representative Andrew was telling the truth. It's very likely that these are drones from foreign adversary. And if you don't believe that the U.S. government would cover something up, just look at how they responded with the Chinese spy balloon.
No, that's a good point. And look, you know this. You're in
All right,
Florida.
so
Mellon knows
let's pause this real quick. Now let's go to her. Like I said, that Vandrews guy is this crazy guy. Not crazy like that, but like, I mean, yeah, what he said is fucking crazy. Whether it's true or false, which I'm leaning false. Either way, I think we can all agree it's fucking crazy. So let's just watch that. And here she had a tweet out today. So she shouted out Vandrews on News Nation, and today she put the fact that the Pentagon is trying to gaslight Americans and undermine Congressman JVD, and that's this guy. If you click on the link, his credibility is no surprise. Look at how they handled the Chinese spy balloon. And we'll just remind ourselves what he said yesterday. Here you go.
I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off. I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable.
So, and by the way, this guy tweeted out something about it, like right when he said it, and he still has the tweet up. Like he's right or dying on that. Like this is all an Iranian mothership thing. Everything we're seeing is an Iranian mothership. And then Anna Paulina Luna, who's been kind of in the mix with all the UFO stuff, right? She's like doubling down on that. So does Anna Paulina Luna also think that this is all Iran and an Iranian mothership? She might. I don't know. I do not know. I have a meme for that we're just gonna play because I didn't include it in the thing. But you know, when I make my memes, I like to watch them. They're funny sometimes. And see what did it's kind of hard to remember what it was filmed. Oh, here we go. This is a breaking live footage of the CIA released of the Iranian Mothership facility. Here we go.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, we know there was a probability. It could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. Iran launched.
Again, where are they? And let's actually explore that really quick. Where did I have that? So we already know Lue Elizondo, right? Like, where are they getting this mothership idea? Well, I mean, I'm just saying, Lue's talked about a mothership, right?
Real photo.
Yeah, and then where do I have it? I'm trying to think where I have it. I think I have it. I could look at. Okay, so there's the quote I'm looking for. Let's see. Tom DeLonge, Iran, where Tom DeLonge says his advisors told him that Iran is working with negative NHI basically, and this is his advisors are like Lue Elizondo and co. and John Podesta and co. Okay, yeah, cool. You can see that.
You got to think about this, for example. Now go back to when Bush came out and he's talking about Iran and North Korea and the axis of evil, and that's our government making a blanket statement that they're really concerned about these areas. Then you kind of go deeper into the parts of the government that know about the UFO phenomenon, the ones they call the others, the ones that are influencing countries, the ones that are by design or maybe by accident happening to crash a very advanced piece of technology in the country's borders so they make better weapons to fight bigger wars. And we're not the only ones that have had a crash. Yes. And so when we make big statements about North Korea or big statements about Iran or China, it's because we are aware that those places are being manipulated and have very advanced technologies now. So we're trying to keep everyone calm, and not initiate a conflict. So we're looking kind of over our left shoulder and our right shoulder, and at the same time, every once in a while, trying to tell everybody about it, but we can't really tell everybody about it. And I think that once people know.
So yeah, Tom DeLonge's advisors, for whatever reason, think Iran and North Korea and China are either working with NHI or have some kind of reverse engineering thing going on, which is pretty wild. There's something I wanted to play. We're going to get to the Oregon stuff too, but I did want to make another comparison really quick. I wanted to show you guys how similar some of this stuff is to the Colares flap. So I wanted to play that testimony, that one compelling testimony from the hearing yesterday about the boat being followed, the Coast Guard boat. Let's see. Like I said, I'm doing this live DJing right now. Let's see. Boom.
And I'm very concerned that we're missing something here. I've raised the issue, as has my colleagues, Upates and others in New Jersey and New York, about these drone sightings. So last night I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them. And I said, what's the rules of engagement? I mean, you do it if you're fighting against a
muted. All right, there's one more I wanted to show real quick. Let's see. Shout out UAP James. UAP James. A lot of us been kind of, the clipping game on Twitter is not like as easy as people might think. It's kind of tedious and annoying. But it does help, I think, the information flow and whatnot. So here's another one I wanted to show real quick.
Suggested that these, to the best information that we have available to us to this point, suggested that these drones are coming from offshore, that when we try to make contact with them, they become evasive and elusive. From my perspective, if they are American assets, if they're American military, if they're American drones, and I think we owe the American people answers or explanations. But if they're not American made, if they're not American drones, then I think we owe the American people action. And if no one else is saying, I'll be the first one to say it. If these are not American assets, then we need to get our assets into the air and blow one of these things out of the sky, pick up the pieces and figure out what we're dealing with. Because quite frankly, we're the United States.
This is a New Jersey State Assembly calling for people to be firing, or the military to fire on this. Let's watch this thing one more time, and then we're gonna go to the thing. Oh, real quick, the Beats and Meats, $10. Just wanted to give $10 to the Honorable Red Panda Koala and his Colares series. Is the best UFO doc ever made. Thank you, sir. And it's pretty relevant today. Just saying, pretty relevant today. And we'll see right here how relevant it is. Also, probably why Lue made it the first chapter of his book. Just saying that case is undeniable.
As my colleague,
I think only maybe surpassed by what's happening right now that we're living through. And again, thank you, Beats and Meats, trying to fundraise to go out to New Jersey. But also, you know what, dude? This Oregon thing, I'm not that far from Oregon. I might just drive north if that continues to pop off. So we'll see. There might be live panda coverage going on here before you know it.
Upates and others in New Jersey and New York about these drone sightings. So last night I was on the beach in Island State Park in Ocean County with the sheriff. He has been working it every single night. He's got his own tethered drones chronicling. One of his officers 2 nights ago saw 50 drones come in off the ocean right there. So we thought maybe they'll replicate it. They didn't, but we thought it was a possibility. Then last night we had a number of other people there, including a commanding officer from the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water, followed right behind them. And I said, what's the rules of engagement? I mean, you do it if you're fighting against a narco trafficker or something. And they said, we don't know.
Okay, so yeah, they come in off the water, right? Now let's go to my Colares doc. When the sightings first start, let's see. The local economy in Colares was related to fishing, which was there. That would change when the UFOs began appearing in August of 1977. Initially, the first reported sightings of UFOs in Colares were from fishermen returning to shore after work. They reported seeing luminescent orbs flying towards the shore from the sea. These orbs were multiple different colors, ranging from red, orange, yellow, blue, and green. Other UFOs that were reported were more mechanical in nature, and some UFOs people didn't even know how to classify because they were so strange. They were reported flying erratically in ways not possible from planes or helicopters. A 44-year-old fisherman named Manuel João de Oliveira Filho would say of one of his early encounters that he saw what looked like an umbrella-shaped object hovering 13 feet off of the ground. It then shot a vivid white light into the ground and moved away silently. A carpenter named João Dias Costa and a fisherman named João de Cruz Silva reported seeing luminous spheres that would fly and occasionally swoop down close to the ground. A resident named Sebastião Wernick Miranda was quoted as saying, "I was there with my wife, Palmira, in front of the church on the seafront, when at about 8 p.m. we saw an intensely vivid orangish light coming from the sea towards the town. As it approached, it climbed and then moving rapidly, vanished towards the inner part of the island. At first, these UFOs seemed odd, but harmless, and the townsfolk were intrigued. But soon, the UFOs would take on a different nature. Pretty soon, these UFOs began to focus their attention on the residents of Colares." Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I don't know. I mean, I hope that we saw that one video was tracer rounds. But I do think there were similarities with what we heard there. And, let's go ahead and play this too. Oh, actually, let's play this really quick. This was, and everyone go subscribe to my backup channel. Let's do this real quick. Let me see, share this tab instead. Boom. Red Panda Call backup channel, find a bunch of stuff. But look at this. This was out in a plane crashed in New York, Worcester Airport. in the area where this flap is, right? So a little concerning. We're yet to hear if it's related or not, but that was from tonight, by the way. Yeah, but what I really wanted to show you guys was to go full on my one friend sighting that I did clean up the audio for, because accidentally, when I tried to show you guys yesterday, it still had that well, I'm sorry guys, my mind's blanking. I'm doing a bunch of things. It had that like weird background track, and it was giving me anxiety. So let's give me 1 second while I find it. But this is cool because it's a testimony, and the reason why I liked it too, I was in the space and he came in and he started talking. I was like, okay, I got to drop down and screen record it because it had just happened, right? And you can never really recreate the just happened thing of it all, and a witness testimony. So I was really happy I was able to hop down and get there. That's why Twitter is awesome. Let's see. Okay, let's just watch my friend's sighting because it's great. He had a video, and then we were able to like again. I think it happens, and he immediately hopped in this space. We're able to like really get his like fresh emotions and shit like that.
But this thing was like hovering above the ocean, and it was low, very low, but so bright and so clear, and it was huge. Like when you look at the video, someone said like it's a helicopter, but like if you think about the depth perception of like how far out that is, and when you see the tail of it, like if that was a helicopter, it would have been fucking like so big. And it definitely was not. I watched the thing for like 7 minutes. I was walking to dinner, I was on the boardwalk, and it was the only thing out above the ocean, and I filmed it. I walked with it. It was just hovering there.
Are
And
you saying
yeah,
it was a helicopter?
no, I don't think it would. No,
No,
definitely
but
not.
are you saying it was as big as a helicopter or bigger?
No, it was much, much, much bigger.
Much bigger.
Because it was so far out. So someone like that I posted the video, like commented like that's a helicopter, but like no, like it was so far out
Did you
into the
catch
ocean.
any like did it look like an orb? Did it look like it was
Yeah,
actually a craft?
when I zoomed in on it, it like my camera started getting blurry, and then nothing, like my phone, like the camera app quit. That happened 2 times. Like I was filming it and the camera app quit, and then I finally caught it a little bit, but it's like such bad quality. But I'm so certain of what it was. Like,
I posted it in the Jumbotron for anyone.
I live in Jersey. Like all the sightings have been a little bit like an hour north of me. I'm a little bit more south, but like I'm right by the beach, and obviously the ocean is mysterious. But I'm certain of what it was.
Did
And
you see it come from the water, or was it like hovering above the water?
it was just hovering above the water, and then it just like it quickly ascended at some point, and then just kind of dipped out and like went way far down the water, like down the coastline where I couldn't see it anymore. But I'm certain of what it was. Like there's no planes out, there's nothing, and it looked the same as all the things I've seen. It was like strobing, flashing this like crazy bright greenish white light.
Did it look like a drone to you, or did it look like something other than a drone?
It just looked like a weird shape. Like no, it didn't look like a drone. It was too far away and too big to be a drone of any kind that I know of.
I can hear the excitement in your voice.
Yeah, no, it fucked me up. This was like an hour ago, and I'm like, it's right by my house, and I just don't understand the New Jersey connection. I think I haven't been looking. I've kind of like I've seen all the news and I've seen all the videos, but like I haven't really gone deep yet, and now I'm about to. But like, is there a New Jersey connection? Weapons Earl, it's about 15 miles north beach of me, and I think they like load nukes there.
So I watched your videos, and it's definitely, I understand what you're saying, how it's very hard to see. When it was traveling, like, say you're staring out at the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to the right is south, going to the left is north. When it dipped out, you said it ascended. Did it go right or left? Which way would you say if you were looking at it? Was it traveling right?
It went right. It went south. It went right. It went down the coastline to the right.
And the lights that you saw were primarily white and green?
white, green, and red, like
White,
all the
green, and red.
themes you're seeing.
Got you.
But there was a huge bright core that was like a greenish white.
Yeah, that's strange. All right, thanks. I'm just trying to picture it in my brain like you were seeing it, you know.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like I've been like, it just kind of happened, and I was like waiting for this. Like I was thinking about driving up north recently to like go look for shit, like where all these sightings have been, but this just happened right here where I'm at, and that's like an hour south of all the.
Oh, pause! Breaking news: that one plane that crashed, one person died from it. It's still not clear if there's any connection to the drone thing, but it is a crash in the place where all the drones are being viewed. We'll just say that much. But let's continue here.
Like the main areas up north near New York.
Are you here?
Sense because it's so cloudy and foggy out right now that I still have yet to see another plane tonight. And like it was so bright out in the ocean, like there was no mistaking. It was so low.
And did you hear any sound?
No sound.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, a helicopter, how far away would you say it was? Like close enough that if it was a helicopter, you probably would have heard it?
No, probably further, honestly. Like it was pretty far out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have heard it.
Fair enough. But you're saying it was larger.
It looks like it could be 5 to 10 miles away is what it looks like.
Yeah. It was pretty far out there.
Okay, but you're saying it was larger than a helicopter?
Because of when you look at how far out that is, like there's a part in one of the videos where it like spins almost, and you almost see two lights. You see the main light, and then you see something to the left. And like you would think that the thing on the left is like the tail of the helicopter.
I actually have to go to the bathroom really quick, so I'm gonna just let that Colares documentary play for a bit while I go to the bathroom because I'm doing this solo. I'll be right back. Colares, and began harming them on the streets and even in their homes. Some of the common things these UFOs allegedly began doing to people was stunning them, leaving them paralyzed, shooting light beam rays at them that hurt and burnt the victims. Some reported being pricked and feeling like something was inserted into them. And lastly, some reported that it felt like these UFOs were sucking their blood. This earned them the nickname Chupa Chupa, which translates to suck suck in Portuguese. Some victim accounts are as follows. 49-year-old resident barber Carlos Cardoza de Paula reported, "Everybody else was asleep. I was just still having my last smoke when suddenly a ball of fire entered our house and up near the ridgepole. It started shooting around and around the room and then finally came right close to my hammock. It ran up my right leg as far as the knee without touching my skin. I watched with much curiosity as it then moved across to the other leg. Then I started to feel feeble, and my cigarette fell from my hand, and I came to and let out a yell. The fireball quickly vanished, and everybody woke up. I think it had been searching for a vein in my body, but didn't manage to do so. As its brightness grew, I felt a sort of heat coming from it." 44-year-old farmer Manuel Matos de Souza would say, "I was sleeping. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, on Tuesday, when through the gaps in the shack wall over the door, I saw that rays of bright light penetrated with great intensity. I got up, and opening the door, I saw a strange object standing 5 meters more or less from me. Inside, a couple laughing out loud as if they were making fun. Even chained by the red rays that reached me, I quickly went into the house picking up my shotgun. I pointed towards the ship, pulled the trigger, but to my surprise, the gun did not fire. At this point, the right side of my body started to go numb. That was when I screamed for my wife and my children, with panic in the house. Meanwhile, the device disappeared without making a noise, disappearing into the sky." Aurora Fernandez, 18 years old at the time, stated that she was attacked in her home at night by a cold, strong wind and felt a terrible fear as if she were being enveloped by a strange force. She said, "I was terrified. I called my mother, who was already asleep like the rest of my family in the house, but before my mom arrived, a strong red light surrounded me and left me paralyzed. At the same time, I felt very fine punctures in my breast. Then I fell to the ground and passed out." Her mother reported seeing a colorless liquid that smelled like ether oozing from her puncture wounds. The city of Colares had only one physician, Dr. Valelde Cecim Carvalho. She initially thought that the town was experiencing a mass hysteria when her office began to be overrun with people claiming injuries from UFOs. She was perplexed at the real injuries she would observe in the patients coming in. She took blood samples and concluded that the victims suffered from generalized hypothermia, chronic headaches, burnings, intense heat, nausea, tremors in the body, giddiness, and often presented small orifices in the skin where they were hit by the rays. She wrote, all of them had suffered lesions to the face or the thoracic area. The lesions, looking like radiation injuries, began with intense reddening of the skin in the affected area. Later, the hair would fall out and the skin would turn black. There was no pain, only a slight warmth. One also noticed small puncture marks in the skin. The victims were men and women of varying ages. Though she couldn't explain the real-world injuries, she still remained skeptical of the UFO stories until eventually she had her own encounter. On her way home from the clinic one afternoon, she saw a ship that she described as cylindrical in shape, hovering about 100 feet above her. The ship began to make erratic movements and then disappeared in an instant. This encounter confirmed to her the unfortunate reality that these UFOs people were reporting were real. Dr. Valde stated that after 60 days of daily occurrences and 120 cases, she started to produce reports for the Brazilian Executive Health Secretariat, or CESPA. However, as reported to the PATA newspaper, she was prohibited by CESPA from admitting that something strange was happening. Many people continued to come to her clinic with injuries, and eventually 2 women would die. One woman, after being attacked by the lights, was immediately sent to the large. Sorry about that. All right, let's look at. There's actually a few things I wanted to look at left before we close out here, probably for the night. There's one interesting report on News Nation that I saw. Let's see. Logan sent it to me. Thank you, Logan. And wait, actually, no, wrong one. Oh, here we go. This was an interesting News Nation report where the guy kind of describes it coming up close and stuff like that I thought was kind of interesting. So let's watch that. And okay. And then after that, we're probably going to watch the organ stuff and then close out. Unless there's anything y'all want me to show. People were talking about this 911 call. I tried to find it on Reddit, but like I saw the main Reddit post, but I couldn't find the link to the actual call. If anyone wants to help me out with that, I could play that too. But probably going to wrap up here soon. But here we go. This was an interesting report.
Joining us now is my friend Evan Cutler, who witnessed one of the drones up close in New Jersey. He took some pictures as well. Evan, good to see you. So Evan described to me what he saw, and I said, you got to come on the show to talk about it. Evan, what did you see?
Well, I saw a drone. If it was a drone, who knows what it was, but it was not the drone you see people fly. There's the picture. It was the size of a school bus. Literally the size of my 2-car garage. Well, I have a 1-car garage, the size of a 2-car garage.
And what happened when you saw it or you started taking pictures, et cetera?
Well, look, to back up a little bit, I'm coming home from On Patrol Live. It's 12:30 at night, and I get into Montclair, New Jersey, and I see the full moon. And I'm like, well, it can't be a full moon because the full moon was 2 weeks ago. All of a sudden, it's getting closer and closer. And then first, I think it's a plane, then a helicopter. Then it's hovering right over the woods as you're entering Montclair. And it's a drone literally 40 feet wide by 40 feet wide, hovering right over the woods. I pull over, get out of my car, forget about the phone. I'm just like looking at this thing, wondering what the heck it is. Then I said, oh, I should take a picture. I grab my phone, the second it like notices I'm out there, it just starts heading south. Grab the picture. The picture looks like a dot. It looks like, at the very most, like a Plan 9 from outer space flying saucer. But when I got a good close look at it, when it was only about 100 feet off the ground, maybe 150 feet off the ground, it looked like a drone on steroids, like literally a drone the size of a garage.
And you reported it to the authorities?
I got home. The first thing I did is I Googled. I went on X. I went on Instagram. I like, is this a thing? And I saw nothing except one little news report from like Morris County Patch about some drones making noise and keeping people up at night. Nothing. Then, so the next morning I called the FAA, I called the FBI, and still to this day, I've not gotten a response from either of them.
Well, it's not surprising considering we just saw them in front of a House committee saying they don't know what's going on. But, it is
the one thing I got to say, though, is if for people like me who do see something that's unidentified, there's very little recourse. I Googled, what do you do when you see a UFO? There's nothing. I think that's why a lot of times these things go unreported. You have nowhere to go. And I'm a seasoned journalist. I know, I did some digging. I found out who to call. And to this day, it's, I've gotten no response.
It's weird that it's just happening in this one area of New Jersey. Maybe they're just monitoring you, Evan.
All right, so yeah, pretty interesting. What is it? What else? There's a few things I wanted to show you guys left. Oh, so I did find on Reddit. Just had to scroll down a little bit more. The that audio. So let's see if we could play that audio. And then there's a statement I wanted to read from the FBI that they released today. Let's see. Okay, can you guys hear this? Turn that up.
County 85. What was the exact call? This wasn't this a solid crash or hurricane crash?
Per the caller, a drone fell out of the sky by the power lines behind their house. And then 10 more showed up.
20. And 10 more showed up. Pretty interesting more time.
County 85. What was the exact call? This wasn't this a solid crash or hurricane crash?
Per the caller, a drone fell out of the sky by the power lines behind their house. And then 10 more showed up.
Wow. Does that make their own on Twitter? I might have to sweep that. Okay, where's the there's this statement that I wanted to read too from DHS and FBI. Joint DHS FBI statement on reports of drones in New Jersey. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have foreign nexus. The FBI, DHS, and our federal partners, in close coordination with the New Jersey State Police, continue to deploy personnel and technology to investigate the situation and confirm whether the reported drone flights are actually drones or instead manned aircraft or otherwise inaccurate sightings. Historically, we have experienced cases of mistaken identity where reported drones are in fact manned aircraft or facilities. We are supporting local law enforcement in New Jersey with numerous detection methods, but have not corroborated any of the reported visual sightings with electronic detections. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft operating lawfully. There are no reported or confirmed drone sightings in any restricted airspace. We take seriously the threat that can be posed by unmanned aircraft systems, which is why law enforcement and other agencies continue to support New Jersey and investigate the reports. To be clear, they have uncovered no such malicious activity or intent at this stage. While there is no known malicious activity occurring in New Jersey, the reported sightings there do, however, highlight the insufficiency of current authorities. Wow, amazing. Tell that to that guy. All right, I think I'm going to close out now with this Oregon report. If there's anything else I missed that you guys want me to cover, just let me know. I could play it in the comments real quick. I could play it real quick. Let me know in the comments is what I meant. All right, let's go to this Oregon report. Because, yeah, stuff is happening in other places too, right? Connecticut, New York, New Jersey's kind of taking... New Jersey's just got the craziest shit going down right now. But let's look at where we at. Here we are. Okay. Last thing for the night, the NBC report. And honestly, I'm probably going to be back tomorrow night, guys. I've been like kind of drone obsessed, I'm not going to lie. So it's kind of therapeutic for me, if anything. So let's just get into it.
And while lately we've been talking a lot about drones and UAPs and mysteries in the sky in New Jersey, let's take a trip back in time to 1947. And no, we're not talking about Roswell 1947, but 1 month before, when a pilot named Kenneth Arnold took off from Washington on his way to an air show. And as he flew over Mount Rainier, Arnold says he saw 9 bright, shiny, saucer-like objects flying in formation across the sky, some weaving side to side like a kite. Well, guess what just happened in the Pacific Northwest? Some 80 years later, some pilots just saw something very similar. And this time, there is audio of their conversation with an air traffic control tower. Take a listen.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets. They're all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
We're not seeing anything, getting lots of different reports out there. Some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000, about 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude. Moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern. Just had another one show up about my 1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean. It's red in color, moving at extreme speed.
Roger. You are cleared to maneuver as necessary, left and right, to avoid the UFO out there.
avoid the UFO out there that's coming from the air traffic controller. So what could it be? Well, joining us now is co-founder of Americans for Safe Aerospace, Ryan Graves. 50,000 feet, Ryan. You were part of a squadron that saw some weird things out on the East Coast. How dangerous can things be? And like, what's your reaction to hearing, oh, just, you know, navigate around the UFO casually uttered by a traffic controller?
Well, honestly, I'm actually happy that they are actually reporting it to the FAA. For a long time, pilots didn't even want to broadcast this out over the radio for fear of the stigma and ridicule that's associated with it. But, you know, I think we've learned over the past few years that this is a very consistent thing that's been happening to pilots. They are seeing things not just way up in the sky, potentially in space, but things that seem to be exhibiting very strange maneuvers and capabilities right in the atmosphere with the aircraft themselves. And whenever you have an unknown object like that, that's a safety risk for pilots.
A safety risk for pilots, especially if they're moving around rapidly and they're able to go 50,000 feet or higher.
Fascinating.
Very cool.
Real quick, you know, I might not even have to go to Jersey. There are apparently some drones in California. I'm gonna do a quick scan of actually just different areas where there's drones. If I saw someone said San Diego, look at this is in Temecula, which isn't too far. I may or may not have family in that area. Don't let King Milk Fart know.
This is what Brian Dirk saw over his Temecula backyard yesterday evening, but he's not the only one who saw
Does
it.
that not look a lot like the things they're seeing in New Jersey? Like, is that not very similar to what we saw in New Jersey? Let's see one more time.
This is what Brian Dirk saw over his Temecula backyard yesterday evening, but he's not the only one who saw it. There are multiple social media videos just like his from South
Thanks for being
Riverside
here,
County.
Star Silver
And
Gazer.
listen closely. Witnesses say whatever it was didn't make a sound.
I think the public has a right to know what is flying above the skies and what the purpose is. We saw two that came directly overhead our backyard in South Temecula here, and then we've seen a bunch across the horizon.
I looked up because it was coming now right over top of me.
Oh, that's a good point. Science Bob, or we run a farm says Science Bob implied that the drones are likely a distraction by an American adversary to lead up to the invasion. Again, that's what I want to tell you. That's why in this stream I did yesterday, I know some people were frustrated that I like spent so much time on history talking about like the Guatemalan coup and shit like that. But that's literally what we did in Guatemala, or at least plan to. Like, it's been known since the 50s or 60s, like on documents, you could read them yourself, you could FOIA them yourself, that like the intelligence community, and I'd imagine other countries' intelligence communities are fully aware of how useful UFO sightings, UFO flaps are for destabilization, for clogging communication channels and stuff like that. So I think that's a very good point. We run a farm that we should be totally aware of. But again, it's been a month and they haven't shot one down. Crazy.
It didn't make any noise.
Melinda Peters saw them last night too in Temecula, which is a mountain range away from Camp Pendleton. This is what Brian Dirk saw over his Temecula backyard yesterday evening, but he's not the only one who saw it. There are multiple social media videos just like his from South Riverside County. And listen closely. Witnesses say whatever it was didn't make a sound.
I think the public has a right to know what is flying above the skies and what the purpose is. We saw two that came directly overhead our backyard in South Temecula here, and then we've seen a bunch across the horizon.
I looked up because it was coming now right over top of me, and it was quiet. It didn't make any noise.
Melinda Peters saw them last night too in Temecula, which is a mountain range away from Camp Pendleton. This is what Brian Dirk saw over his Temecula backyard yesterday evening, but he's not the only one who saw it. There are multiple social.
It looped. My bad. I didn't realize it had looped. But yeah, so there's that. So yeah, we got Oregon now. We got Temecula, California. Somebody said they tagged me on something on Twitter. Twitter's just been so hectic. If you want to maybe DM me. But yeah, I don't. I think that's about it for tonight. If anyone has anything else, let me know. We'll do like a minute or two to yeah. I'm just browsing real quick my Twitter feed to see if there's like anything Oh, here we go. We got Joe Rogan. Let's close out with Joe Rogan. Let me see. Okay, okay, yeah, no one's someone said, okay, I'll DM you. Superwater8 said they're gonna DM me with a video. We'll see. Okay, while we wait, we're just gonna do this Joe Rogan one. If not, maybe we'll watch a Super Water one tomorrow. We'll just close out and see what Joe Rogan has to say. Okay.
No. Have you seen all these UFOs in New Jersey lately?
No.
Yeah, like over the last few days, there's been this steady stream. They're not UFOs, they're drones.
Oh, I did see
Yeah.
something. I think you posted something about the drones or something, right?
I don't think I did.
Somebody did.
But a lot of people have been, but they're not moving in any extraordinary way. They look like drones. They do. It just looks like a bunch of assholes thinks it's fun
Right.
to put drones up everywhere. But now there's all this like weird mythology.
Does Joe Rogan not have the weirdest takes on UFOs, like over time? I'm just throwing that out
attached
there.
to it, where like the governor was saying sometimes as soon as we put eyes on them, they take off. And but if I was a UFO though, like if I was an alien and I knew that a bunch of people are trying to be smart asses,
yeah,
and they're putting these drones in the sky, I'd be like, perfect time to visit.
Oh yeah,
these dipshits won't know the difference.
Yeah,
I don't have
exactly.
to use my cloaking technology. I can just fly over their head, and they're gonna assume this is more.
Logan has a great. This is preface for disclosure. And tell me, Logan.
Also indicate.
Look at. We're gonna close out with this. My little montage I made. Let me know if you think it's super. Thank you guys all for a great show. We'll probably be back tomorrow. There's so much stuff happening. I'm clipping everything. We're barely sleeping. Love you all. What a time to be alive. I think I'm probably gonna bounce back between like having guests during this specific flap specifically, and then maybe doing like solo streams like this one. But I do want to do one with a think tank of all people who post a lot of UFO videos. We were talking about having one today where we just go through some of the most compelling footage. And then I have a few friends out in Jersey who I want to do a stream where we just kind of have a Jersey stream. But who knows, bro? Now they're in California. Now they're in Oregon. Who knows? There might be one above where you live next. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Love you all. We're going to close out. God bless.
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times.
Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their homes.
It's right here over Picatinny. There was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down dead.
These are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and, like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down.
Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it.
What the fuck is that, bro? Did it just get smaller? Bro, what?
Above the ocean, and it was low, very low, but so bright and so clear, and it was huge. Like when you...
I'm concerned. I issued a letter to ask for more information, and I think there should be a lot more transparency about that.
Can you make that make more sense?
Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. My goodness, looking at this.